All right, folks, this is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop, live and late. That's right, we are late today, folks. We supposed to do the show on Thursday at 6 o'clock, but unfortunately, I was out of town, so I had to take care of some other business. But we are here today to make it happen. I'm waiting on my boy Dre to tap in. I'm gonna call him up right now, make sure he ain't fell asleep on me. You know how you do things like that. Also waiting on Miss Bernadette to come in, folks. In the meantime, we got a lot to talk about. A lot been going on for the last few days. Brittany Gardner pled guilty. That ought to be interesting in court. Dre had a thing free Brittany for a while there. So that's you, Dre?
That's me.
How you gonna not call me?
When?
Now it's 8:30.
Duncan Kirkwood joined.
It's 8:30.
My alarm did not go off. I
Yeah, he was asleep.
No, I really wasn't.
Okay, if you say so.
I wasn't asleep. I had my alarm to go off.
At what time?
Hold on.
11:30 your time?
No, 8:30 my time. It didn't go off.
8:30 your time is 5:30 my time.
I know, so that's why my alarm went off at 8:30.
All right, well, it's all
I feel
good, Doc.
stupid.
That's why phones work two ways, man. So I got
Yeah,
you.
that's what it does.
Wash your face. Come on in and join this conversation, man.
Oh, I'm clean. I'm clean,
right.
believe it or not.
Okay.
Jump all in it.
We got Dr. Dre from MTV Raps, East Coast Dre on the line with me today, folks, as always.
Holla.
Holla. We do this every Thursday, usually, but like I said before, folks, I was out of town. I didn't have my hookup to get Dre, and I couldn't do it without him. So now that I'm back.
Because this is called the
in
drive-in version of the show.
So the driving, okay.
The drive-in. So we're at the drive-in trying to watch the movie and do the show.
Okay. What you got to talk about from the East Coast, Doc?
Oh, man, this is so crazy. First of all, Biden seems to try to do what he can to get back rights to women so they don't lose it the way they're about to. I think the Republicans has messed up their whole opportunity at this midterm thing. We got Brittany Griner, the Free Britney G movement.
Right.
She says she's guilty.
I think that's going to play in her favor in the long run.
Yeah, but we don't know, because based on what they do in Russia, and which is you got to understand the way the law works there, not here. Just because you plead guilty doesn't mean they give you an easier sentence. And the one thing they kept saying is that depending on how America treats Russia and stops getting at us, will depend on how she gets sentenced and what happens. So I think it was a good political move. I think it was a good opportunity for her to let everybody know she's okay, but yet she's going to spend more time there. That's just it's inevitable.
Well, you never know, man. I'm hoping she get home as soon as possible. But the big conversation,
absolutely,
the big conversation was she had on the Crenshaw shirt when she went to court. You saw that part?
Well, I couldn't see that part. So
oh, that's right.
You got to see that.
I'm sorry.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
But I know one thing. Shirt representing Nipsey Hussle and the marathon, and that was a big conversation on the hip hop community. Always looking good, always sounding good.
Okay, well, congratulations with the Crenshaw shirt.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of dope. Man, something else was happening crazy today, man. What was going on? Something. I've been on semi-vacation, folks. I took a couple of days off. Sat by the pool, by the beach, and drank some margaritas and some Mai Tais. You swear I was on a real vacation, but I still had my phone on. So something else jumped off. They convicted your boy, Eric Holder. He's been convicted.
I was about to ask you about that.
Nipsey Hussle murder.
Did you hear how subtle that went through? They went, oh, the guy that killed Nipsey Hussle was convicted and moving on. I hate when the news does that.
Well, you know what?
No explanation, nothing.
That's the
and
right
they treated it like it was just okay. Now, even some black news too, and then they go another way. But you take it from your perspective.
It depends on who they work for. It depends on who they work for.
True.
If they work for a local station, they stretch it out a little bit more. I mean, everybody knew he was going to get convicted. It was going to be a real hard case, hard to get him off on something like that. Okay, with all the videotape and all the witnesses. The big question was, people were trying to say that Cowboy They're trying to put a snitch jacket on him because he testified in court against the brother that killed his partner. And I'm like, how the hell he a snitch because he testified in court against the man he saw kill his partner? Don't we have any kind
But
of?
how's he a snitch when there's a videotape?
I'm
It
just
doesn't
saying,
make
dude.
sense.
It just amazes me how people can find ways to twist it. That's why I've never really got involved in that lifestyle because sometimes it can be so confusing. It don't even make sense. The man you saw the man get killed by the man that's being accused of the murder. You were standing right there, but because you stood up in court and said, "Hey, I saw him do it. Yes, he killed my partner, and he need to go. He need to deal with it on a legal level." In some people's eyes, he was considered a snitch. I'm like, huh?
Bernadette joined.
Well, we have to understand something too about the word snitch. There's a difference for you being what we used to call a tattletale and using a snitch, or this person's working as an informant, and someone who's an eyewitness to something who's saying, wait a minute, this was wrong. This is totally wrong. Because there's no way you can handle like Arnold Johannes in the street. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
It really doesn't, because as I said, where there's a camera on every corner now, there's a camera everywhere. You're gonna always get caught. It's like when people do crimes out here and they run and then they take the mask off a quarter of a block away. There's a camera watching you.
Wow.
And they follow you home.
We got Miss
It
Bernadette
doesn't
in the
make
house.
it doesn't make sense. Hey, Queen B.
What's up, Queen B? If your smile getting bigger, we're gonna need a bigger camera.
Mm-hmm.
Your smile get any bigger, we gotta get an increased size of the goddamn lens or something. You got the whole damn camera lit up.
Who
I
is
can't hear a word
trying
you're
to
saying.
outsmile the camera?
I can't hear a word you're saying. There's no words coming out of your mouth.
But it's a smile that's on your face. Your smile. Your smile.
Keep on poking on something. You're gonna get it right. Oh, she gone. She'll be right back. Anyway, folks, chat rooms in the house. Marlon, American Negro, Gangster Mac, Rob Trumbull. Everybody's in the house, folks. What's up, all my usual suspects. What's up with you folks in the chat room? My homie killed my homie and get arrested. I'm snitching and I'm telling. Rob, thank you very much, sir. That's just respect, Doc. Come on, man. That's disrespecting
I
your
didn't say
homie.
it's a snitch thing. Like I said, it's not a snitch thing. I mean, it was a camera.
Well, you know what?
Everybody saw. Even he saw. He actually looked in the mirror and saw who he did. He did it.
Drake,
It doesn't make. Come
check
on.
this out.
It doesn't make sense.
Check this out. People have gotten this gangster thing so convoluted. They don't even really know what a gangster is. And a snitch, they don't even know what a snitch is. If you and Dre and Lonzo go commit a crime and Lonzo get away and Dre don't, Dre got the money or Dre don't get away, I don't tell on you. Okay? That's if I tell on you, that makes me a snitch. Okay? If I get arrested for something and I tell on you because make my sentence lighter, that's a snitch. Okay. You may not be involved in my crime, but because my crime comes with a serious amount of time involved, and to make my situation a little bit lighter, I will start talking about you and anybody else that has done a crime to try and put myself in the favor of the court. That is a snitch. Okay. And these are the things that's being done more in the streets than anything else. But to see a man commit a crime against somebody that you got love for, and to stand up in court for him, no, man, that ain't no snitch. That's just a brother doing what he got to do.
And the purposes of what you're saying is that the snitch part is like you said, if we did something together, they catch me and they don't catch you. And then I tell them it's on you.
Right.
Because I want to get a lighter sentence, or I want to be able to see if I can get out. No, that's not, that's ridiculous. Because I was involved in something like that when I was much younger with my cousin. And they came and snatched me out the bed with my drawers on, thinking I was involved. And I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't there. But they said, but you hang out with him, so you tell us who the whole everybody is. I said, I can't tell you who anybody is. I wasn't there. But the next day when I went back to school and everybody else was snatched up, everyone thought I snitched. That's how. There's no way you could be walking free and everybody else is locked up. I said I was not there. I just wasn't physically there because people are gonna make a story up in a minute.
You know what? And a lot of times cops are just stupid. They just make up shit because they can't figure nothing else out, and they'll just throw some shit on you. And if you don't know, if you get scared and start talking, they figure you're a talker. They'll just throw shit at you just to get you scared. So you'll start, having a conversation about some shit you don't know about, just to try and go home. That's the biggest lie ever told. Bernadette, where you at? Now your ass ain't on screen now. I see you in the dugout.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, but I don't
There
see
she
her.
goes.
No, I
there
hear,
she goes. More than a
I
smile.
hear her, but I don't see her. And your camera.
I'm not having technology today.
Oh, she's having a bad
Here I am.
signal.
She popped up.
You can hear me.
She popped up. All right, she's on the screen. I can hear her. Say something.
Last speak.
Talk to me.
Something. Did you miss me?
All right, now I want you one size now. I don't want you two sizes. I want you one size. There you go, right there. Don't move. Don't move.
Two birds, multiplicity?
Nah, Bernadette keep moving the camera up, getting them super close ups and shit. Got the whole camera for the teeth. The whole screen for the teeth and cheeks. That's all you can see is teeth and cheeks.
I'm trying to get ready for my OnlyFans, but okay, I'll be still. So in other words, be still, Bernadette.
Okay, be still.
She's giving you
Go ahead, legend.
She's trying to do talking about her OnlyFans. I wish I would catch your ass on OnlyFans. I'm a protest OnlyFans. Hell, get her ass off of there. Anyway,
but hold on. Real quick. The thing what you're supposed to understand is when you're doing something like that, understand your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. And believe me, I understood that because when my father came down there, I wasn't doing nothing except, can I get my pants? I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know nothing.
Right. So anyway.
In political science, we said the same thing. Well, no, we didn't really say the same thing,
but you know what, man?
That's the word, security.
People think they're going to talk their way out of going to jail. And the bad part about it is cops have the right to lie to you to get you to confess against yourself. They can tell, oh yeah, just tell me who it was, you get to go home. No, nigga, you ain't going nowhere. Okay, they lied.
They're professional witnesses. That's their job.
Right.
They're there to lie, cheat, steal, prod you until you tell the truth. Unlike that gentleman who started shooting at people on the 4th of July in a parade. I don't get any of that. I'm like, are we really that far gone now? We're really that far gone? Well, this guy shot a mother and a father, and now their 2-year-old child is an orphan. 2 years old, so I'm calling him Batman. Because that's the same thing they did to Bruce Wayne. They shot up his parents and left him by himself, and he became Batman. So watch out for this 2-year-old.
I see my man Dusty in the house. Somebody want to talk to us. Oh, I can't talk to them because I got you on the phone. That's that dude. That's probably that dude from last week. I ain't messing with him. We had our first crank caller talking about he just got out of jail. This asshole looked like chopped liver, and he was dating a transvestite. So that call didn't go very well at all. I'm not messing with his ass. Anyway, oh yeah, that situation. But man, again, man, these fucking shootings are real. The fact that we have so many shootings in this country, and every time
per day,
every time,
not even per
time,
week or per month. This is every day. Go ahead, please.
Every time we get a crowd of people together, somebody finds justification to go up in a roof or someplace and start shooting people. Now, this man is just really, really disturbing to people that go to concerts, go to parades, and and why this dude was shooting people. I mean, he didn't shoot anybody particular. He just let off into the crowd. He didn't have he wasn't shooting black people like the cat in New York. He was just shooting people. Why these guys think this is such a good idea is beyond my psychological skills, because this dude went home and they picked him up from the pad, brought him back took him to jail. You know, and it's
Who,
amazing how
the dude in the parade?
yeah, he got away. I
No,
mean,
he was driving. He got away and he was driving to another parade, and he was thinking about shooting that parade up.
he was just
He changed his mind because he hadn't well thought it out that well. So he kind of changed his mind because he had poorly planned for the second incident. So he, wasn't too sure about the second one, and he, kind of changed his mind instead of going all the way through with it because it wasn't well planned out. Isn't that crazy? He has a plan that he wasn't satisfied with, so the second place he didn't hit it. That's what I read.
wow. I heard he was home and they arrested him. Anyway, man, whatever happened, this ass is in custody. But wait, hold on. How is it somebody can shoot multiple people and get arrested, and another brother running from the police gets 60 bullets in his ass?
That was my next. There you go.
How
But see, here's the other part. That wait a minute. Here's the quick part to that. Did he fire at them from his car? He had a weapon in his car, and he jumped out of the car with a ski mask on, turned around to the police, and looked at them. We don't know what happened in between that, but we know it took over 90 rounds to bring him to his death. He was hit 61 times.
Wait.
90 rounds.
Okay, you put 61 rounds on somebody, but you still handcuff him and send him to the morgue. Come on, man.
Breaking up.
Ain't nobody breaking up. You still handcuffed the man.
So it might be me then. Okay.
When he gets to the morgue, he's handcuffed. Okay. So I find it hard to believe. Why was that necessary to handcuff a man with 61 holes in him?
Because we're not learning how to deal with the issue of gun violence versus police violence versus domestic violence. We're not handling our issues properly. And some of us will trade. No, let me explain. Because we keep electing legislators
Bernadette joined.
who then sit there and let there's no police reform. People are worried about defunding the police. It wasn't defunding the police, it's to reform the police. We need to go in there in communities and get these officers out who do not need to be police officers. Just like one of the police officers that was acquitted of a crime went to another town and got a job as a police officer.
Well, they've been trying to pass that law forever, and they can't get no love with that right there.
But you see what I'm saying? So when you got all of that constantly, it's like a constant circle of nonsense. When do we break and say we're not going to allow this anymore?
Well, ask me a question.
Community has to be
wait. You got brothers that think their votes don't matter. You got police and judges that pretty much work hand in hand when it comes to certain situations, and you got police department after the police department that's pretty much trade people for the same job. Get him out of this town, sit him over here, and and it happens with the sheriff. Sheriff act a fool in Pomona in LA County. LA County is huge. Sheriff acted a fool in LA in Pomona. Next thing you know, he's in Lancaster. He got a longer drive, but he still got a job. Okay, so you just don't see it. He got a job. So when these situations happen, and there is no federal law to say it's not. I mean, it's just well, again.
But that's what I was saying. By you got to change the laws from your local to your state, then the federal. So that means you have to participate in voting what's going on around you. So when that police officer is convicted or whatever the case may be, you gotta know he's going off to so-and-so because somebody knows somebody over in the other place. Says, wait a minute, he's over here.
Hold on. You got people that don't have no horse in the race because they shoot somebody, right? If they don't go to jail and they don't lose their pension, they have no horse in the race. The city pays any settlements. The city pays a settlement.
But that's where you need a switch to let you know, hey, this cop's over here trying to get a job. You know people in different places, and you know where they're gonna move.
My man,
you got an idea of it.
No, but before that, even if they shoot somebody and before they move, they still don't have a horse in the race when it comes to being held accountable to their actions. If the city is going to pay for pay the family or the insurance, well, most cities are
You get paid off.
self-insured. Okay, they self-insured, and the cops don't have. If you don't lose your job or go to jail, what happened? I mean, you get demoted. You sit behind a desk. You still keep your pension. You don't go to jail. You made a mistake. Oh, okay, here we're gonna give away $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 million because you fucked up, and it's okay because the citizens are gonna pay for it, and you still keep your job, and you just may have a lesser job. Like I say, you might start directing traffic or some shit. I don't know, but nonetheless, you have a little stress, but for the most part, your life goes on for you, and that's the part that doesn't give anybody any reason not to do dumb shit, because especially now 16 cops shot this kid, so you don't know whose bullet was the deciding factor. And
when they do the autopsy, them bullets come out.
Most of the bullets probably went through him. Most of them probably went through.
True.
Most of them probably
went
through.
But they have to pick up the shells.
Okay.
That's what ballistics are for.
I'm just saying.
They got to go through everybody's stuff, their guns, and they have to know where the bullets were.
Trying to prosecute 16 cops, you're going to lose a whole bunch of cops for your department. That's the first problem.
Yeah.
It's almost like a firing squad. You don't know which one of them some guns really kills you. If you stand in front of a firing squad, it's 8-10 people. All of them got guns. All of them pointing at your ass. And all of a sudden, they start pulling triggers. 1, 2, 3, bow. Which one? And all of them got gun smoke come out their shit. Nobody knows which one of them bullets actually did the killing. And that takes that's supposed to take the psychological effect off of the firing squad. And by doing it that way, so it's the same thing now. I hit him in the ankle. I hit him in the heart. I hit him in the head. I hit him in the shoulder. So he had bullet wounds from his ankles to his fucking eyes, to his cheeks. That's ridiculous, man. And here's a man that was, Here's a man that was running away. He was running away. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. What's the question?
Well, why was he running away at the time? And that's important. Shot.
Probably figured he was
true.
Now,
true.
Wait. Hold on.
Well, okay, let me ask a question, Alonzo. If it's found that he fired first, right, and he ran away, are the cops justified for that?
If he fired first from the car, why didn't they shoot him in the car? They've done it before. They ain't never stopped nothing before. So he had time to shoot at the police, get out the car, and take off running. Then they find the gun in the car. But that means if he shot at you and he's running from you, he's not a threat. You supposed to arrest his ass and bring him to court, bring him and the gun into court, and deal with it like that. You ain't supposed to shoot him.
But I'm asking a question, but in the heat of the moment, right? And I'm not taking the cops' side at all because I think they were wrong.
In the heat of the moment, it's a good excuse.
Okay, because that's what they're going to say.
In the heat of the moment,
their life was threatened. He fired at us first, and then we reacted. But like you said, 16 cops. No, it's just overkill.
Exactly. One man.
It's for overkill.
Okay, that same kid, that was in that school a few weeks ago, they exhibited the most extreme amount of cowardness of all time. Okay, mm-hmm. this guy, the door wasn't locked.
That wasn't restraint. That was being a coward.
Okay, they had body armor. He had body armor. They had automatic weapons. They let them kids get slaughtered so they can go home to their families. Okay, I understand. Everybody want to go home to your families, but danger is a part of the job. If you can't save lives,
you signed up for that. You signed up for that.
You signed up for it. Let me see if Bernadette is back here, folks. That ain't Bernadette. DJ FX. Let me find Bernadette. Doc, hold on one second.
Oh, DJ FX, we're supposed to talk to DJ FX.
Are we supposed to talk to DJ FX?
What's going on? What's going on, fellas? How y'all been?
How you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm having an outstanding Friday night. I had a little bit of a drink earlier, so brother feeling right now. So
he doing it
you're
way.
Toasted and roasted.
You know it.
It's going for us because Alonzo, we had a good friend of mine, Miss Spontaneous, was a guest of ours. We had some technical problems, and we're doing a program this Sunday for her and DJ FX. And DJ FX, tell everybody about this Sunday's program.
Well, for the show this coming Sunday, we have our roundtable discussion. This is basically part two to our roundtable discussion. Part one was actually in June of 26, June 26th. So for this roundtable, we actually got, 8 people, and this is including our beautiful PLM boss, Miss Spontaneous. We got everybody from Andre Dwayne to Earl Smith to Romeo Holloway, 9008, all the way out from Cali. We got our brother right here from another mother, Doc Dre. We got Supreme out of Philly. We got the ultimate Tupac impersonator, Calvin Jefferson, as well as one of my homeboys from my hometown, DC, Commander fan. Thank you very much, Mr. Bone Cortez. So we all going to be swirling around, giving you how we feel on the topics that's pretty much been plaguing us in this country today. July the 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is July the 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check us out on Blog Talk Radio. All right, blogtalkradio.com/spontaneous radio. That's where we'll be located. That's where you can log in, check us out, because we're going to go over everything that you all just mentioned.
All right, I'd like to hear that. I might tap in myself. All right, well, cool.
Oh, please. So that's Sunday night.
I have an event Sunday night. I'll try and get off in time to fall through for a minute. We got a few people in the dugout, man.
Look at that. As we build and go through it. So we're gonna be speaking about topics like we're talking about the gentleman in Ohio who was gunned down with 61 shots. We're going to talk about this other gentleman deciding he's going to dress up like a woman, hide his features, and shoot and hurt over 40 people and kill 7. We're going to talk about the new overturning of Roe versus Wade. So where a 10-year-old in Ohio is raped and is impregnated, has to leave her city, leave her state to get an abortion because Roe versus Wade was overturned. We're going to talk about all those kind of topics, plus some other great ones that DJFX is going to let us know about. But dude, I'm looking forward to Sunday. It should be, I don't want to say earth-shattering. It should be informative, educational. It should be something you can participate in. Please let everybody know where they can check the show out.
Yep, blogtalkradio.com/spontaneous radio. So again, blogtalkradio.com/spontaneous radio. Myself, as well as my colleague, Mr. LeVar Evans, we will be conducting the roundtable discussion this Sunday, July 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, that is blogtalkradio.com/spontaneous radio. Please check us out. Just like what my brother just said, it's going to be very informative, very educational. We have a lot of things to talk about.
All right, DJ FX, much love to you, Doc. We got to go to my dugout. Check out some more folks in the dugout over here. His brother's been waiting for a minute. Duncan Kirkwood, what's up with you, Doc?
Hey, what's going on? Happy to be here.
And I'm good and glad to have you as always. I got somebody else. I'm gonna bring him in right now. We got LeVar in the house. What's up, LeVar?
LeVar's with DJ FX.
I'm actually with FX. So FX has already mentioned everything that we are going to do.
We're gonna go back to Duncan right quick. I'll be right back to you. Miss B, she hooking up everybody. She got us all kind of guests today. What's it? Are you back? Divine Connector. Okay.
So this is Duncan.
Talk to me.
Yeah, so I'm here in Buffalo, New York. And as y'all know, y'all talked about it a little bit. There was a shooting here. White domestic terrorists drove 3 hours to Buffalo and murdered 10 people, injured 4 others at a black grocery store. And so in our city, we've been doing a lot of disaster relief. That was the only grocery store for like 5 miles. So people have been putting, food and money and clothing and stuff into the community that kind of helped.
Duncan, I need you to emphasize that again. That was the only grocery store for 5 miles. 5 miles, folks. That wasn't like
Yeah.
a grocery store every 3 or 4 blocks. That was like, I got to go to the grocery store. Okay, let me go to the grocery store. That's what I'm going to do. So it's got to be an effort, much different than just going down the corner.
All right, Duncan, let's finish your
Please,
your
I'm
intro
so
right
sorry.
quick.
So no, it's okay. So a lot of people are focused on the immediate aftermath, but one thing that I've decided to do is to train 50 Black boys in our community to become leaders. Because besides that version of white domestic terrorism, we fight an oppression like the lack of access to food, education. And that zip code is like one of the worst zip codes in New York State, one of the poorest zip codes. So we got breast cancer, hypertension, infant mortality, like everything that you can measure that's bad is pretty much the worst in our community in Buffalo. So I'm taking 50 Black boys ages 15 to 18, and we're going to put them in like an Army boot camp style leadership and activist training to teach them how to transform our communities, transform their lives, transform their families' lives.
Fantastic. I'm glad to hear that, Doc. Now, how do you train somebody to be a leader? Usually leaders are born.
I don't know if I think lots of leaders are born, but I think some people are made through circumstances. And so a lot of people, they never had somebody tell them they can lead. They never got pressed. Like this new generation of young people, they haven't gone through what my generation went through, and my generation hasn't gone through what my parents' generation have gone through. So we softer.
Mhm.
We're not as tough. So we have to simulate that type of stress. So we're gonna have them running in the morning, doing push-ups, like boot camp, but then also have moments to teach them how to lead, teach them how to do time management, prepare for college, prepare for trade school, whatever they're gonna do. So we're gonna mix the training with the tension.
Now, I hear what you're saying. I love what you're saying. Now,
Mhm.
you got all my blessings. But I've worked with programs like this in the past, and one of the main problems we had in that program was the mamas. Some of them mamas don't want to see their babies go through no rigorous training. They it's like one of my buddies who's a football coach. He said, "Man, I'm ready to stop coaching." I said, "Why, man?" He says, "I can't coach because the mamas want to coach me on how to talk to their kids, how to deal with their kids. I'm not rough, I'm hard, but I'm not abusive." Okay. And we know as men, sometimes we only respond to get your ass up and get what you told. We don't respond to, "Would you please come up here, Billy?" That don't work for us. Okay. Especially at a young age.
Not just me, boys too. Boys too. I'm sorry. In the classroom, you had to get a little ghetto to get them to listen. You'd be like, "Look, if I didn't do this, they didn't listen." So it was our boys too. Our boys don't respond to anything but this.
I was talking to my daughter last week. My daughter, she has a specific job for she works for a school district, and all she does is go around from school to school and dealing with behavior problem children. Okay, and she gets paid good money to find out why little Johnny is acting up. Okay, now when she told me what her job was, I had to laugh because basically in my era, she was the vice principal of the school. Okay,
or the dean of the school,
or the dean. In my era, you took your ass down when you acted a fool in class. They sent your ass down to the dean. You took 10 to the ass. You was back to the class with a new attitude, okay? But now, because somebody has come into the classroom and want to bring psychology don't work for everybody. It's one thing. I hate to go on a tangent, but I'm going to have to do this. I got to say this. Me and her had the same conversation. For some reason, they want to pigeonhole everybody with education, like everybody learns the same way, and everybody don't learn the same way. Okay,
no.
Some people learn from reading, some people learn from doing, some people learn from watching. Okay, and the same thing when it comes to life lessons. If a kid is going through life without any consequences for their negative actions, they're going to continue to do this shit. This is why we got kids running through these damn malls or whatever, doing all these damn smashing grabs, because they know the penalty is going to be minimum. But anyway, let me go back.
Let me ask Duncan a quick question. Duncan, I understand in some of the things you're doing, you're following Dr. King's 6 tenets of that he spoke of. He's like, could you explain what those are so people would have better understand? And then I'm going to ask you a second question that follows that up, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the ways that we're going to teach them to make a difference in their community. So a lot of times when something happened to us in our community, what we do, we go to the barber shop or the beauty shop and we complain and we bitch and moan, right? Sorry for the language, but you know what I'm saying? Like we just complain. We have a victim mindset instead of something happening in our community and we respond with action, with a plan, with follow through, and we fix it. I'm going to teach the young people how to fix it. Dr. King laid out a plan for how you create change. Most people think that like when something happens, we need to go march. Let's go protest. That's not what Dr. King taught. That's not what they did in the civil rights movement. Dr. King laid out 6 steps to create a real change. Protesting, or what's called direct action, that's step 5. And if you do it right, you don't even need to get to that step. So we're going to teach them the first step is information gathering.
Okay, go ahead. There you go.
So the first step is information.
Because I want to ask the next question, please. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, the first step is information gathering.
Go ahead.
The second step is educate others. So first you have to get the information, because a lot of times we get mad about stuff and we about to go cuss out the mayor, but it's really the school board member's fault. Or we about to go complain to the senator, but it's our council member's fault. We don't even know who the council member is. So we got to gather the information. Whose responsibility is it to fix the problem? Next is we educate others. If you educate other people, sometimes that's all you got to do. Here's what I learned. Here's how it should work. Just putting that out enough, people sometimes will fix the problem. The third is personal commitment. This is a big one because everybody who say I'm with you, they're not ready to ride with you all the way. They might say, I'm with you, let's fight the power. And the police show up and you look up and they gone. You know what I'm saying? They not ready to go to jail for it, right? And that's okay. But you got to know who's who and what's what before you get started in the battle. Number 4, this is the big step. It's negotiation, right? That is what you're trying to do. I'm trying to get the person who can solve the problem in a room. So if that's my council member to fix a pothole, I need to get them in the room and say, I need you to fix this pothole. Here's when I want you to fix it. Here's why I want you to fix it. Here's what they do in other districts. Then now they can say, okay, we're going to fix it. And they fix it. Now you done, right? That's a success. But they might say, screw you. We don't care what you got to say. We'll get back to you. Then you go to direct action. You do the protests. You do the dying. You do the letters. You do the phone calls. But the only purpose of the direct action is to get people back to the negotiating table. And you keep repeating until you get what you want. Then number 6 is reconciliation. You go tell everybody, this is what we did. This is how we won. This is a success. So we're going to train the young men in that. And then we're going to pick some problems in their communities and actually start that process so they understand how to create the change they want to see. Sorry for that long answer.
Very quickly. No, but let me follow up that question with this one. Because some of those things you're saying are true with what Dr. King did. What Dr. King was very influential in creating marches. He really was. That was their nonviolent approach. Why aren't you trying to actually go into what Malcolm X used to say, El Haj Shabazz, as far as, this whole idea of you going to decide to create a passive resistance does not work, as what Alonzo was just saying. Everybody doesn't learn the same way. Everybody doesn't react the same way. For example, 2 years ago, we had Black Lives Matter walking and marching up and down city streets based on the violence that was happening in our community. What did that do for us politically, and what did that do for us in changing the laws? So now, 2 years later, you blame Biden for not being able to do what's necessary because you didn't elect the proper officials to go in there and overturn those laws that make that have this go on. We don't check our police the way we want to. So part of what you're saying is correct. But if you also examine what El Haj Malik Shabazz, aka Malcolm X, was speaking about, and all you gotta do is read the autobiography of Malcolm X, because that's exactly what they were trying to do in becoming a disciplined Muslim man.
Gotcha. So you said several different things. Let's start with, I'm not against marching. Okay, I have marched in a number of protests from the Gina 6, from what happened in Louisiana, all the way to after the murder of George Floyd. So I am not opposed to marching. What I am opposed to is marching without a plan. In the civil rights movement, they didn't just march.
That's why you have to vote.
The marches were a part of the plan. So, for example, when they would march for voting rights, they knew the police was going to beat them down, And then after the police beat them down, the NAACP would sue the police department, and it would cause a national firestorm, which would cause policy change. So there was a plan. And so also you said the Black Lives Matter marches, what did they accomplish? They didn't accomplish widespread, massive change that we wanted, but there were changes. They banned chokeholds in different cities. They made it where police weren't investigated by police. So Benson not investigating Stabler. They got some states instituted a third party had to investigate police matters and institutions. So there was some progress made. But listen, I'm not here to debate thoughts on justice.
No, I wasn't debating. I'm applauding what you're doing. I think what you're doing is outstanding. I'm saying, but make sure that you also teach these young men how to vote and vote for the change we need. I hear often people say, people want to go and complain and act like a victim. This ain't about victimization. Remember, we didn't volunteer to ride on a slave ship. That wasn't a volunteer situation. The victimization is when you don't participate in the democracy and make the changes in your community, locally, statewide, and federally. So when they go to overturn Roe versus Wade and take away the rights of women, you're there going, that's not going to happen, because you're not going to let Mitch McConnell tell Barack Obama, you can't put up a Supreme Court justice, and then turn around 4 years later and let Donald Trump do it 7 days before an election. That you only can change through the voting process, locally, statewide, and federally. So yeah, marching is to bring emphasis on the problem, but what you do with your vote, what you do with your family, what you do with your enemies is what's really going to make those grand changes. I applaud you for your grand idea and effort. And Alonzo, please jump in.
What you're saying, Dre, is absolutely true. And what he's saying, the marching, anytime you're in a war, you have to make a ground attack, an air attack, and a water attack, and a sea attack. And that's how you don't just do it. There's no one way to win a war. They come from the air, the sea, the land, everything. It's the same thing here. We definitely have to vote. We definitely have to go out there and let our voices be heard. And we have to do more on social media and more communication amongst ourselves to bring awareness to how we're gonna bring about a change. But once that's done, it will be, once we have a cohesive movement in place, then we can move like a unit. And that's one thing about everybody except for us. They know how to move in a unit. Okay, we
move as a team.
Hold on.
Never move alone.
Hold on. We have to figure out a way to get our people, get the Christians, the Muslims, everybody that deeply invested in melanin, to put aside your biblical issues and let's vote as a people so we can make some things happen.
Yes.
My boy called them the J people, the LGBT, everybody learned how to put their personal differences aside. They may not like each other for what they represent, but they still will put their personal differences aside to strengthen the unit. And that's one of the things I think we're missing as a people. We don't have a core. We used to have a core, and at some point in time, a lot of our core got bought off. And that's something that's why we don't have any real new leaders. The leaders we do have, the people that we do have,
jobs.
The people that we do have, they looking for the money. The people that we have in leadership positions, most of them looking for the money, and they can't really speak out because they may affect their bottom line. And that right there don't do nobody no good. And that goes, that's including politicians. They walk a thin line between speaking out and losing their position. Okay. But for some reason, the other side can do whatever they want to, and don't worry about losing nothing.
They abuse the rules.
Republicans, they can do what they want to.
They abuse the rules.
They abuse the rules, children, laws, everything, and they stick together like glue. And I think that's something we need to learn from their playbook. So hopefully we can if not defeat it, at least compete with it so we can get some progress.
Well, listen, thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor to listen to y'all discussion. I'll be tuning in from now on as a viewer. So I really appreciate this opportunity to just network with y'all. If anybody wants to support, or anybody in the Buffalo, Western New York area that's got a teenage boy, age 15 to 18, they can just reach me on my website, duncankirkwood.com/greatness, and they can get all the information on the initiative for the young men. And if they want to support, or if they know if they have a family member in the area. And again, thank you for letting me.
Duncan, hold on, Duncan.
One more.
Duncan, hold on, real
One
quick.
at a time. Bernadette, go ahead.
Let me just say something real quick, Bernadette.
Oh.
Duncan, I want you to commit to make sure when you're doing this project that you call us back and let us know what's going on, if it's working well, if there's a problem, and how can we help you in what you're doing. Can we just sit down and do a Zoom call and talk to your young men that you're trying to work with? Because that's also what us, when they get different views from different parts of the state. I live in New York State, but I'm not in Buffalo. I'm down in the suburbs of Long Island. Okay. And then Alonzo's on the West Coast, and his point of view matters because we have this type of communication things with the internet. But it's important that we support your effort to help realign these young men. So please get back to us and get online, get on the show so we can talk to you. It's very important.
All right. Thank you very much, Duncan. Good luck.
Thank you, Duncan.
Stay in contact
Sorry
with us.
that.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I just wanted to say thank you for. What I was thinking about was the way you were doing after the traumatic experience in Buffalo. You were right here in alignment with this month's Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, and so that right there, because sometimes we don't go back and deal with the trauma. We've talked about PTSD on here before, so I wanted to commend you for that because you have to. If you don't deal with the little boys who are dealing with PTSD, you're going to have to deal with grown men dealing with PTSD. So I just want to say thank you for getting into that alignment with that because it's BB Campbell's Minority Mental Health Month and everything, and I hate that every year since 2020, it has been very important for us to talk about minority mental health awareness. Each, like I said, more and more, if it wasn't the lockdown, it was the pandemic, it was the George Floyd, and it's getting worse and worse each month. We got to make some kind of social impact. So that's why I had you on here because you're being a guest. We're thinking about somebody that's doing something after the news has stopped coming to Buffalo, asking people questions. You're doing something 12 months down the road, right now, next month, doing that. So I'm raising awareness about Minority Mental Health Awareness Month because it's very important. We got it. Good deal.
Very much.
Thank you.
Much love, Doc. All right, peace.
Thank you, Duncan.
I'm looking in the chat room and it says, LOL. Year ago supporting the old white man who looked in the camera and told you, told every black person, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Now, you know what? That's a true statement. But my question is, the other motherfucker told you what you got to lose. Okay? The other dude told you, if you don't, black people, what you got to lose? You live in the ghettos, blah, blah, blah. We had two goddamn choices. Two. And you both of them was bad and badder. Which one do you choose? Do you go with the one? Do you go with the other motherfucker goddamn well ain't got your interest in heart, or you go with an asshole he's stupid but he's workable? I mean, come on, man. This is the part that right there kind of that really pissed me off, but it just makes me want to. As we stand right now, we have a two-party system. After everybody didn't vote or did vote, we got stuck with Biden or Trump. Okay? Biden or Trump. Biden or fucking Trump. And because Biden said what he said, okay, yeah, he said some dumb shit, but I bet you dumb shit for dumb shit, Trump got him beat by a whole lot more. Scandal for scandal. Ain't nobody got more scandals than Trump. So what are we talking about? Why is that an issue? Okay?
But here's
hold on. Maybe we need a third choice. This game that we play right now, only two teams per game. We don't have no third choice. We need a third choice. But how you gonna get a third choice? Right now, money, the vote are set up to only go for two people, left or right. We ain't got a center yet. So unless we come up with a way to develop a powerful center, if you have a center that has no power, you're pretty much voting for the person that you don't want to vote for. So if you have an independent party that has little to no support, anybody that vote for that person without any money behind them, you still going to be in the same situation. You're going to be in a worse situation because your vote gets casted for someone that has no chance of fucking winning. Because based on the way the game is played right now, I'm not saying this in forever, but where the game is played right now, we only got two goddamn choices, left or right.
But can I answer that for you, Lonzo?
Go for
Because
it.
we talked about this before. It's very simple. The first way to dissolve this strong two-party system is term limits, from local, state to federal. Term limits. Second part to dissolve the two-party system is you take the money out of the politics. Because when the Supreme Court allowed them to say, oh, well, corporations, they're people too. That's where all of this started going deep and heavy. Because at a point we had a two-party system, but they had to work together. Now, because of the Supreme Court, look at what the Supreme Court did. A 6-3 majority in a conservative Supreme Court. So putting Ketanji Brown Jackson in as a Supreme Court justice was a great look, but she's 3 of the other 6 that can wipe her vote out anyway. So you have to put term limits on these people. You have to devise their power and say, nope, you're not going to have any more redlining districts when you vote.
The only problem with that is the people that can vote for the term limits are the people that's going to vote for the term limits. They're not going to vote. They're not going to vote to get themselves out of power.
No, but this is where you do it. Until you push the Senate, two more senators, so you have a majority in the Senate, that you hold those people's feet to the fire, and you say we are going to instill term limits. You have to maintain the House, because then you can pass your agendas. It took the Republicans 50 years to turn over Roe versus Wade.
You're still telling the people in power that we're going to limit you. That we want you to limit your power. I hear what you're saying, but that's like saying, hey man, you got a Rolls Royce, but you only can drive it for so long, and it's up to you to figure out how long you're going to drive it. No, I don't want to get the keys up. Why would I do that?
What I just said. If you get 2 more votes, Democratic votes, in the Senate, and you keep the House, which is all obtainable at this moment in time, we can do that. If you got 2 years, and you say, if you're not getting in, if you don't do these things, there was no 50-50 Senate, because Manchin and Sinema screwed us. They just did.
Okay.
They screwed everybody.
What I'm saying
so
is,
you have to vote in people.
That's fine and dandy, but do you really think that the Senate is going to vote for their own term limits when they've been in power all this time? You got guys been in the Senate for 35, 40 years. Biden was one of them. Been in the Senate since the 70s. You think they would really want to vote to limit their own power and become a regular citizen again? I don't see that. I don't see that.
I know. I look, and
I don't see that.
I may be the eternal
I could be wrong, but I don't see that.
That's the system. But that's the system we have, or you're not going to get the two-party system to go away.
But how? Again, we have put people in power that they don't even work for us no more. They work for themselves. They don't care about.
True.
They don't care about our needs. They care about the people who support them, who support their needs. They're the people who give them the checks, the donors, the whole night, the lobbyists that make sure they get their money. These are the ones that they cater to. They cater to oil companies, big oil, big energy, the car industry, and pharmaceuticals. Okay, these people are the ones that buy the ads to get us to vote for them, to get us and other people to vote against our better interests by giving them money. So if they can convince us through money that to vote against our better interests, and by keeping them in power is for their better interests, more so for our better interest, more so than their better interest, which I remember once upon a time that was on the table. And it got shot down because the people in power would not vote to give up their power at a certain point in time.
But look, but what you're saying is 100% right. But let me just bring in one small piece of this, which is just a fact. Joe Biden introduced the infrastructure bill and the Build Back Better bill, and they separated it. Both passed in the House with a Democratic House. Where did it die? In the Senate, because two Democratic senators decided not to do it. That's where it died. So the only way you can make, that's why only one half went through. The infrastructure went through, Build Back Better didn't. So remember what I said before about inflation and gas prices, that this is a fake crisis. Look at gas prices falling now.
Where they
Look at
at?
inflation all of a sudden starting to turn.
What the gas?
The national gas prices fell over 40 cents.
When?
It fell in New York.
Oh, okay. I live in California. Them motherfuckers went up 40 cents.
I know, but that's the problem. You gotta understand something. It's not going to be an easy, quick move.
Well, you know what?
But Biden proved it. He said, I gave them all the access to drill and do what they wanted to. And the gas companies have to go, well, we're caught. If you stop driving and you boycott driving the way we do,
here we go.
Use public transportation, you will change your problem, because they can't sell the gas if you don't drive up and use your car as a convenience rather than an asset. You have to attack multiple ways. You said it. Just said it.
Yeah, that sounds great. But tell somebody who got kids, they can't drive their car to work, who may drive 40 minutes already. He got to get up 4 hours, 3 hours early to catch a bus to go across to Pomona to Palmdale or somewhere to go to work. And it ain't gonna happen.
Understood. Understood. But in 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama, when black people were tired of being treated like animals on those buses, and they decided to walk, carpool, do anything they had to do, and Montgomery Bus Department lost money at a ridiculous level. They threatened people. They went to people's houses. You're going to ride that bus? I'm not riding that bus. You're going to force me to pay around a bus that you treat me like crap. If you don't affect the money, and that's the way this works.
Okay.
If you don't affect the economics,
okay,
nothing is going to change.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. If you mess with the money, you're gonna get their attention. Okay.
You're going to get your results. But you got to do that with the people you put in.
That was Montgomery, Alabama. Okay, that was one bus line. Okay,
but that happened around the country, though. What about the country?
But I'm just saying, it's how long it took them? What, 8 months, 6-8 months of people banding? Wait. Let me finish. People had to band together. People who had cars and trucks band together to take people to work. Okay, then they tried to ban that. They tried to ban people from taking people to work. The same thing they're doing in Florida. I mean, in Georgia, but because Stacey Abrams pulled such a powerful move with the vote that souls to the polls, they trying to ban that right now. You officially right now, you can't give a person a bottle of water to stand in line to vote. So these some bitches are so cold, they don't care about human beings at all, just to maintain power. So you gonna tell me, because here they are, they don't care about human life. You stand in that hot ass Georgia, sweaty ass, stifling ass heat, and talking about old people. You make it against the law to give a person a sandwich or a bottle of water in line. You talking about a different kind of human being, man. You're talking about somebody who is desperate to stay in power at all costs. So you telling me they really gonna listen to you when they say, "Hey, man, I want you to start do term limits," which is a great idea. Also, we want to take money and pieces of paper in a file cabinet. It's not human. They're not people, and all those things are wrong as all outdoors. But when you got people who have placed people in robes to make things happen their way, you kind of shit you get.
But remember what you just said. that they did it in Montgomery, Alabama. 8 months it took to get them Montgomery
But you know something
company
also?
change
But
the policy.
check this out.
Hold on. But if we vote and change the Senate to a true majority, you end the filibuster. And to do that, you then make your rules up. Same way Mitch McConnell played his game. Same way. Okay. Well, for these 2 years, we're going to change these rules. And when they're in the minority, there's nothing they can do to change those laws, not make them laws. There's
All right.
nothing they can do.
Almost
So
time.
if you have the Senate and the House, you can make these changes.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I was getting fired up. We got to go.
When don't y'all get fired up? When don't y'all get fired up?
The chat room was on fire. I ain't mad at nobody, but I had to drop some stuff on them. Much love to you, Peter Singleton. Thank you for the heads up. Bernadette, you back in the house. Unknown Raider guy. Who was that was giving me the information earlier that I was reading their stuff? Loris Dekis. Dex. I'm not sure how you pronounce their last name, but much love to you. I ain't mad at you, but you're right. We don't need two old ass 80-year-old guys for president. Here's the problem. Here's the problem we got moving forward for 2024. Okay.
No, 2022.
22.
Let's not jump 2 years ahead.
Okay.
We got a major
Okay.
major election this fall.
Understand how cold the Republican game they play. They make sure that anybody that has potential to win the election in a presidential election or going to be a strong Democratic president, they find they dirt out real quick, shoot their asses down. I forgot my boy's name in New York. Was it New York? Spitzer or something like that. Was it?
Elliot Spitzer.
Elliot Spitzer. Good dude. Good dude. Just like hookers. The only problem he likes hookers. Okay. They had him on track to be a presidential candidate. They make damn sure they shot his ass down real quick before he can get even in, get his hat in the ring. Okay. My boy from New York, same thing.
Andrew Cuomo.
Andrew Cuomo was
the real president of the United States.
He was on track
during the pandemic
to possibly run for president, and they found some shit on his ass. But meanwhile, they find all kind of shit on Republicans, and it don't do nothing. It don't affect nothing. It don't affect nothing.
We don't go out. But that's Lonzo gotta. Reason I gotta say something. But that's what the importance of the January 6th congressional committee is about, because they're exposing everything. And I hate to say this, but I would hate that. I'm a Liz Cheney fan because she, who was the ultimate Republican, is out there saying no. This is wrong.
But see, you still got a bunch of people. But every time she says some shit, they cut her legs off. And you got people, no matter what they say, they still gonna vote for them anyway. And that's what I'm getting at.
True.
No matter what they say, no matter what they do.
But if they vote, what are we doing? This is the point. Well, see, what you're saying is exactly what we have to do.
We're trying to play straight in
outvote them.
Hold on. We're trying to play straight in a crooked game. The game is crooked. And you're trying to play you're trying to play straight dominoes. He got 4 big sixes over here. You're trying to play straight.
I agree with you.
You're trying to play straight dominoes. You're trying to play spade. He got all the aces. He done pulled them out of his ass every place else. He got 6 aces, and you're trying to play a regular game and wonder why you losing. And that's the problem. We try with these people. You have to fight fire with fire, man, or she will get pissed off. We got to go.
So then we got to go.
Same bird.
Continue this Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Same bird.
So what, Bernadette? I'm gonna get you.
He said, "Don't. If it's the left wing and the right wing, you're still on the same bird."
Still on the same bird. Thank you, Bernadette.
Exactly.
Bernadette said the left wing and the right wing is still the same bird. That's Lonzo for Legendary Connects. Miss B in the house, folks. Dr. Dre on the phone. I'm gonna get him on the screen eventually. It's been another heated show, folks. Y'all done got my blood pressure up and shit. I gotta take a pill. Damn. Dr. Dre, much love to you, Chat room. I see y'all, boy. Hey, folks, we need y'all to do me a small favor and subscribe to Legendary Connect. Now, most of y'all are on the N.W.A. with stories with Lonzo with me and Dusty. That's fine. But also subscribe to me and Dre's show, because at some point in time, I'm going to focus on just having people on this Legendary Connect YouTube channel. So please subscribe and notify. If you're notified on Dusty, me and Dusty's show, subscribe and notify on me and Dre's show. I'd appreciate it. Get the numbers up, folks. In the meantime,
Yes, we do.
this is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. Until Thursday, y'all, me and Dusty come back and do our thing. It's Tuesday, I'm sorry. Me and Dusty do our thing. And Thursday, me and Dre will be here debating the issues again, folks. We're out of here. Peace, folks. Peace.